I had you come into my life during probably the toughest year I've literally ever had. I had my first baby in the midst of a global pandemic. I was trying to breastfeed and nourish myself, nourish my family, go back to work in healthcare in the midst of COVID. Also, my husband and I took on the task of building this big house, and it was just insanity. You throw all of these brand new experiences into one small year, and you like your whole world turns upside down, and you're like, whoa, what the heck happened? And how do I manage my life knowing that none of it looks the same that it did even 3 months ago? I literally was struggling from a nutrition standpoint because I couldn't even find time to feed myself, from an activity standpoint, and from a mental health standpoint. Like everything was just completely awry. And that's where I asked you for help. You have taught me how to live, like really live my life every single day. There's no speeding up time or wishing away time to get to X point. It is literally, I look at the positives in my life every single day. I do my best to nourish myself, nourish my family, to get in any activity that I can, knowing that perhaps just going for a walk is success for the day, or perhaps, preparing a meal for my family and sitting down and eating it is success for the day. There's no good foods, there's no bad foods. It's enjoying my life and looking at all of the wonderful things are in it. Because why speed up this stage in my life? Although it's a very, very hard one, I would never want to skip it. You have taught me how to just navigate and use my tools to make sure that every day is a good one.
And your attitude is so powerful behind seeing the good in things, and that allows you to push through those really tough moments and really tough times.
Totally. But I think you've also taught me, like, although something might be tough, it's possible. It might look different, but we have to be okay with being creative, and the days might not look exactly how you want it to, but I have the tools to make it a successful one no matter what. And it doesn't seem hard to me. It seems routine. Like this is just my normal life. I know to be able to go to a family gathering and enjoy the time rather than worrying about, oh my God, I ate this. It's okay, because I actually find if I don't like something, I'm not eating it. In the past, it was, oh my God, I've never seen a cake before, so I have to eat, 2 pieces. Now it's like, I really don't like chocolate, so I'm literally not going to eat it, which is amazing. It's awesome. Enjoying every single bit of my life that I can, which is what everyone should be doing, really.
Yes, shout it from the rooftops for sure.
Yeah.
But it's such a different appreciation that you have than you did even years ago, because your lifestyle is so different. You had more free time for yourself in the past, and that looks different now, right? But I think that it's also helped you to really create an awesome relationship with food.
Totally. Every single meal, from my breakfast, lunch to dinner to my in between snacks, if I need them, everything makes me feel satisfied. I'm not like eating a meal and feeling hungry afterwards, because I'm actually eating real nutritious food and stuff that my body is using as my energy. I feel like in the past you restrict, and then all of a sudden you just kind of explode and eat all this stuff that you shouldn't be. And I have no desire to do that these days, because I'm consistently eating the right things.
Consistency, right? That was like our theme every time
Totally.
we talked.
Yeah.
You just created a sense of routine in that moment, in that day, in that week. And like you said, it can look different, but you just focus on what you could do in those days. And I think that really allowed you to stay consistent.
Absolutely.
How would you say that you feel about your overall nutrition and health now, a year down the road, different from what it was?
Nutrition wise, what you've taught me, they're skills that I can use forever. So when I think about next month or next year, thinking about the basics of nutrition, those don't change. So while the stages of my life might change, the way that you fuel your body and nourish yourself, that will stay consistent, as it should be. I think about my past, where the diet things I did, it just seems so silly to me now. And when I hear about people oh, I can't have this, or for this month, I'm not going to have this. And I think, but eventually you're going to go back and eat that again. So why not make your days look pretty much the same and consistent so that your body can change along the way? I don't know. It just seems like when I hear people doing these crazy diet things, I just feel like they're absurd these days. I feel like I have the tools forever, literally forever. What I'm doing now is reasonable and doable forever, which is awesome.
Yeah, because it's so overwhelming with what everyone talks about, right? And we can easily get caught up in that. But you have such good discernment around what makes sense, differentiate. You can filter out the
Yeah,
craziness with, like, well, that probably doesn't sound like something they're going to be able to stick to very long. I know
right.
it works for me. And
Yeah,
that is so empowering.
totally. And these days I find, if I want the ice cream, I have a couple bites and like that's totally satisfying. It doesn't need to be the full half pint or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like a couple bites, and you're like, sweet, that was amazing, and move on to the next day.
How empowering. Like, that feels so good, right?
It does.
Before it, we feel controlled by those foods.
Totally.
And now it's like I have control over my choices and how I feel, and I can have that and move on.
Yeah.
And that feels so good.
It does. I mean, to enjoy every single meal, I mean, what's the point of like eating gross food, diet food? For what? The foods that I'm eating are nutritious and I enjoy eating them.
What would you say the difference is between like a typical diet and what we've been working on together through coaching?
I'm going to get upset. I've told you many times, like, everyone should have a Jenny.
You're so sweet.
Because, like, I started this journey because I was having a hard time figuring out losing weight, but eating well, having a new baby, and breastfeeding. Like, that was really why I originally. But when I look back over our almost year together, you have this like full body holistic approach where you have done, I think, way more for me mentally than physically. Like, you have changed my mindset. The mental and emotional impact that you've had on me is everlasting. And I can't thank you enough for that. So I think taking a step back, not looking at a person as the number on the scale or the size of their pants, but like taking this full body approach, treating the mental and the physical the same is huge. You've been amazing. And from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for all of your help over the past year.
You are such an amazing human, and I'm honored truly to be able to feel the impact that I can be able to provide. But you also chose this for yourself when it was really hard. There was moments when it was so easy to say, screw this, I'm giving up because I have way too much to do. I mean, you went through traumatic life changes this year in the middle of a pandemic, like with a new baby, navigating that as a working mom in healthcare, building a beautiful new home by yourself with your husband, making all of those choices, being a designer.
And I also still don't have appliances.
You navigated figuring out how to cook without an oven, a stove, major appliances for months.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey, but I would have not survived and been successful without having you, and just talk through things was so helpful, and you helping to come up with ideas.
You do so much for everybody. We all need support. We all need someone in our corner, hands down. And you said that, right? Like, we all need that person. That's like why I feel so grateful that I have the ability to be able to work with people long-term through seasons of life, because that is a true testament to me that you can do this on your own. And like, that's my goal, that you are able to feel confident that you have the tools, the skills, the knowledge, the application to navigate challenges, to navigate barriers. And I, with no question, know you have discovered that, and you have demonstrated that in your life time and time again, and why I'm so confident that you will continue to move forward with what you're doing and continue to make progress in any way that looks each year.
I wouldn't change this for the world. This was exactly what I needed at the right times.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience. It's so relatable. I think there's a lot of new moms that I'm working with and that you've seen that have really struggled this past year. And you're such a positive example and role model. So thank you for everything you do for everybody else on a daily basis too.